Welcome to Geography Optional Strategy Discussion by Priyesh Singh Sengar. So here I am to discuss about the civil service examination, how to choose geography optional or any optional, what is the criteria. If we have chosen geography optional, what should be the strategy followed by the aspirant. So let we start our discussion. So why and how we have to choose the geography optional or any other optional for the UPSC civil services examination. As we are aware that in the mains there are 7 papers which are marks are counted for the final selection, isn't it? Now, out of these 7 papers, two are from the optional papers, and that's any optional you can choose as offered by the UPSC, a isn't it? So, out of the option, people are going with the science topics or with the technological topic, medical topics, or the subjects like the humanities. Now, here is the importance of choosing optional. Like if you look at the final mark sheets of an aspirant who get recommended, the total marks is total what they have scored in the mains marks plus the interview marks. That will constitute the entire merit of the aspirant. So the mains marks is around 1750 marks. I am focused on this. So out of the 1750 marks, optional papers value is around 500 marks maximum one can score. So that means it's great weightage. If you look at the mark sheet of the all toppers, so they are getting good marks in the optionals. If without doing optionals, you cannot certain good rank in the UPSC. So one has to choose wisely their optional papers, isn't it? Now, if you look into account the what should be the criteria used by the aspirants to choose their optionals. What is the background on which they can choose? First, they should have a clear-cut interest in the subject. Interest is most important. If you have interest, you can read, you can reread, you can interlink with the current update from one topic to another. You can produce the good analysis and use it in the different papers. Apart from optional, you can use it properly in the general studies. So you have to allocate good time, and the time to the subject you only can able to allocate when you have the great interest in the subjects. Take the interest, and whatever the subject is interesting to you, choose that as an option. Now, question arises: you have interest on basis of your educational background. When educational background become the interest, so there are 3 types of students which comes from the universities and colleges. One from come from the science technical backgrounds or medical sciences or from engineering background or science graduate and postgraduate. One kind of people which are technical bent of mind. Second kind of people is come from arts, commerce, management part of them. So now how they make a choice? Now that become a difficulty for the student, because UPSC there are some popular subjects. So second criteria mainly used by the successful candidates is their safety. What do you mean by safety? Those subjects which are popular are considered to be more safer. The reason is because of scaling. So just to avoid the scale down marks in the smaller subjects like the engineering subjects or the science subject. Let me give an example of mine. I used to appear from 2 optional in my time. One was the geography, another was the physics. And the physics score was very low. The reason is what you did and what you get, there is a difference because of scale up and scale down. In the smaller subjects, like which are technical in nature, you get a plus 50 if you are scaled up, you get minus 50 scale down. Per paper I am talking about. There are 2 papers you have to attempt in optional. So as a result, you may be plus minus 100 in that case. But if you are going with the popular subjects, then the number of applicants are more in that. So as a result, scale up and scale down, the variation is not much. Per paper you can have a plus minus what called 5. Totality in both the papers, the difference may arise around 10 marks. So that means whatever you are doing in your papers, you are scoring finally that only. So nearly plus minus 10. So that's the case. Your popular subjects become the most safe because of scaling is not creating the difference, and which is happening with these technical subjects. So I asked all the students go with these where popular subjects. So in the popular subject there are many subjects are there. Okay, like geography is one of them, but sociology is another. Okay, or the optionals like the public ad is there, or the subjects like the SIR is existing, history is there, isn't it? Or the language papers, languages are there, or we call that's literature. We can opt any of the subjects because they are more safe in nature. Why we are calling safe? They are scoreable actually. Okay, now third criteria is the score. Those subjects we are scoring or those subjects we are untrained. As for my understanding of UPSC optionals and the final recommended set candidates, the trend is that every subject there is a selection, maybe of technical, non-technical, humanities, arts, management, or science, or from engineering background. All there is a scoring. They are highly scored. Everyone is scoring. But the number of candidates who appear is less in the technical, so they are been affected by scaling only. So as a result, choose those optional which are scoring, and those subjects which are scoring are in that trend. So go follow this. For example, geography, every year around 5,000 people is writing mains when it is in peak. When it is not in peak, around 3,500 aspirants appear every year with the geography option. When such a scenario exists, so that's become important. Fourth is the percentage of selection. So the trend is the percentage of selection with every option. Now there is every option people get selected. If you look at the number of people appear with the geography and finally they recommended, the percentage wise is the highest among all the optionals I'm tracking. And so last to last year it was around 6% to the total, and now it is increased to what for 7% in the last year, and this trend is increasing only. So that means geography as an optional is picking up slowly among the aspirant, and these are the criteria. And fifth and the last criteria which aspirant use to choose the optional is the how does it help in the general studies. The role of the optionals in the general studies papers, we have to write 3 general studies paper excluding the 4 ethics. Okay, even some people say that all the 4 papers might be, what is the role? So if you look at the geography, geography has a role in the at least in the 3 general studies paper. General studies 1, general studies 2nd, general studies 3rd. There is a great role. So every paper you can score good marks. It's like in GS1 around 120 marks used to come, and sometimes it may be extended to 150 also. Maximum and the minimum is around 90 marks. So it varies from 92 to 150 marks. In the GS2 around 50 to 60 marks question you can attempt, and GS3 again around 120 marks you can attempt. This is about general studies. If you go with the mains papers and essay, one of the essay paper has geographical in nature. You can attempt that also. Okay, so as a result you can attempt around 150 marks actually you can get scored. So with two essays around 125 each. Okay, so you can score between 120 to 150 marks from your essay scoring. Also scoring get increased. So that is the important criteria which is being used by the aspirant. How does it help in general studies? This 6. And one more criteria is nowadays students are using called relevancy. Okay, is the subject is relevant? Relevancy means are is usable in their daily life when you become a civil servant. Answer is yes. The geography is the one of the option where this criteria is also been fulfilled. It's highly relevant. Like wherever you are working as a civil servant, you have to solve the problems like drought. You have to solve the problems of regional development. You have to solve the issues of related to the flood isn't it? Or the problems of rural development, urban settlements, etc., etc., etc. So, and that will make you a relevant subject actually. You can correlate with this, and so interest also get developed. Now, to prove the testimony that people get selected with geography optional, so there are mark sheets of few of the recommended aspirants. Suppose in this mark sheet you can see is one of the top scorer in geography optional, Pratham Kaushik. In geography paper 1 he got 166 and paper 2 he got 161. Total it's around more than 327 marks around he got it. So look at that. So how much marks one should score in optional to get recommended? At least 280 plus he or she should be getting to finally getting the top 100 ranking. So this is one of the testimony. Pratham Kaushik got 327. You can also get that. Abhishek Chabe also, like if you look at that 153, 142, if you got this, it's like 295 marks. 295 marks he got total. Now it's like Sweta Chauhan, paper 1, paper 2, if you look at this, she also get 326 marks plus. Okay, if you look at this, Junaid Ahmed, he stood third rank, like 148, 173. So this is also getting around 300 and, okay, 21 marks, around 321 marks he scored in the geography option. So it stood third rank all over India. So Soumya Pandey, similar situation arise, about 300. Okay, paper 1, 156, paper 2, 158. So if you go with this totality, she got around 314 marks, isn't it? 314 marks. So there are many students of mine also got scored above 300. So the requirement to get into the Lavasna campus or this Lal Bahadur Shastri National Administrative Academy, so we have for an optional requirement is how much? Get into this premise. Optional papers together, both paper 1 and paper 2 of optional, total score in optional should be above 300, around 300 or more. If you're getting plus, any plus, that is giving you better rank in the. So why to choose geography optional? I think by now some criteria get very much clear. So geography is an optional which is satisfying the maximum criteria which is to be chosen by any optional for the UPSC means examination. So what is the criteria? So what is an other merits you have to go through when you choose geography optional or you enjoy their merits by choosing the geography optional? One of the important merit is that here paper 1, it's called fundamentals of geography including physical part and the human part in section B is highly interrelated with the paper 2, that is called Indian geography. Both the papers, right, both papers could be used and interchanged. The knowledge of paper 1 could be used in paper 2. Your hard work get reduced and whatever the misconceptions spread about the geography option, it's lengthy, it will be compensated in this way. And second method of compensation is its role in the journal studies paper. Role in journal studies paper. If you look at the entire length of the course of general studies, you allocate a lot of time. So the 40% of the general studies you can complete by geography optional. I will be demonstrating in next slides that how the different parts of the optional of paper 1 and paper 2 is used up in the general studies. If you look at that Indian geography, physical world geography, or the human geography, or the disaster management, agriculture, climate change, even infrastructural topics like the road, transport, power, energy, all is been there actually, all is in there. So it helping in GS1, GS2 and GS3 allow 40% syllabus self-page coverage because the nature of this optional is interdisciplinary in nature. Interdisciplinary. So what do you mean interdisciplinary? So geography as an optional, when you choose, you are not reading only geography, you are crisscrossing among different subjects, like you have political understanding, international relationship understanding, certain technical aspects you might get open, social geography you read, urbanization you read about the disasters, agriculture, climate change, and so on. So interdisciplinary. So when you're reading from different dimensions, what will happen? Your scope of performing better in essay, in general studies, in interview, and real life after being recommended as a civil servant will be better and better. That's called interdisciplinary. Your answer writing skills will get improved everywhere. Another advantage is those who are coming from technical background is the language is the big issue. So they are not so much good in literature or apart like English or their regional language. So they want those optionals where they can safely write whatever they comes into their mind and directly they can present. So geography suits this condition too. Here the aspirants can take the advantage of the subject is independent of language. Independent of language. Why I'm saying this subject is independent of language? Because you are using diagrams, if you are using maps, okay, or most of the writings are direct here. You need not to worry about some metaphors used here. Highly conceptual. Every optionals scoring is only possible when you are technically sound. So they are checking your technical expertise in the subject, and those who are coming from the technical background, they take the advantage of it, and those who are coming from the humanities background, they also take the advantage in the geography option. Why I am saying this? Because nature of geography is it's a semi-science for some, okay, and for some it is a semi-humanities also. So that's what two branches of geography. One is the physical geography. Second branch is the human geography. So both kind of aspirants can avail this optional. So from those who coming from technical background, scientific tempo, they can get this physical geography. They can take a lead here. And those who are coming from humanities, and they can take a lead here. And those aspirants who can mix the physical and the human aspects of the geography, their score is far more better than the others. So it is attractive to all the aspirants who are coming from wide, diverse educational background, either from science graduates, postgraduates, or from arts and commerce. So you can opt these geography options, attractive to both, and it is conceptually correct. That means those people who think they are something, they are conceptually, they do not work on memory, please come and join the geography optional classes. That's the one thing, and read on your own also if you are able to do it. Now the role of a geography optionals become easy when you're looking into the answer writing. So large number of current affairs you have to read. Already you are reading for the general studies papers. Okay, already you are reading for your interview, or you are reading for your prelims too. That current affairs knowledge is put into use here. The question come on marine resources, you can write the latest updates. Come under the question come on the critical minerals, that is a part of the geography. Question comes on population, that is a part of geography. Although you are reading entire Indian geography in the general studies. Okay, the paper 2 of Indian geography is completely used here. That's what geography optional is good for all those who are performing good in the general studies. So that means current affairs is updated, general studies are updated, the information what you learn in the optional paper 1 and paper 2 is completely put into use. Another advantage is the selection ratio. Like if you look at the selection ratio here, and that is very high, and it's increasing in the recent trend. So selection ratio in geography optional is what? The rising trend has been observed. Rising trend. So that means like earlier was 3% like 10 years back, now it's become 4%, now 5%, 6%, and latest, the last data speaks that 7,000. And because of the number of students increasing every year in this, so earlier like minimum is 3,000 people is writing with the geography optional per year, and it's increased to earlier to 4,000 aspirant. Now it is moving towards what? 5,000 aspirant as a peak. So out of 14,700 aspirants, if 4,000 to 5,000 are writing with geography optional, look at the number of people appeared. That means it is scoring. It is highly scoring and ensuring the good rank. Why I am telling scoring? Because of mapping, because of relevance and practicality of this subject. So it's highly relevant actually. So this subject is highly what called relevant in the life of civil servant. So you are aspiring to be this, you can be opting for geography option. That's what it is for the best student. Geography optional is most chosen subject. Now question arises, okay, how to score 300 plus marks in the optionals to secure a place to Labasna? So for that you have to lay down your strategy. You have to lay down what called proper strategy. Strategy for getting recommended finally. So what is the strategy? You must know what UPSC is asking in the geography optional. Then only like the other aspirants who scored 320, 325, 330, what they are doing, you have to do the same thing. Okay, and I will make sure that you are following this. So in one important criteria is first important requirement is understand the syllabus. First understand the syllabus. Strategy is totally depending on how beautifully, how comprehensively you understand the syllabus given by UPSC of both the papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 talked about the fundamentals of geography for physical for section A and the human geography for section B. There are two sections in paper 1. Section A 5 units and section B also 5 units. Section A deals with the physical geography and the section B deals with the human geography. Total 10 units of paper 1 should be understood and the connection between them. The first thing, where to focus, how much to focus, and paper 2 deal with the Indian geography. So here in the Indian geography, a UPSC syllabus consists of again 10 units. Totally you have to prepare 20 units. Okay, understand all 20 units. So if you see the past year question papers, then you can lay down far more a better strategy or the approach to complete the papers in the best way. So that means the second strategy will arise from the past year question papers. So I have prepared the trend since 1991 till 2022. I prepared the on the basis of like unit 1, unit 2, unit 3 till the unit 10 of paper 1, and similarly for paper 2 also. So that means past year question paper trend analysis you have to do. So better you are in the trend analysis, you know the idea where the questions is being asked in the recent time. Okay, and second, if you practice all the past year question papers at least from 10 to 15 years, then 80% of the syllabus get covered. 80% of syllabus get covered on your own actually. Okay. So this is mostly the nature you will find it's repetitive, or the form may have changed, the topic remain the same. Okay, so the past year question paper is this. You can get from me the entire trend analysis and the question bank also. You'll get the question bank completely e-note by e-note from me. So on the basis of that, you try to make your strategy. So what is the strategy? So before getting into the details of the strategy, please remove all your misconceptions, doubts, rumors related to the geography options. What are the rumors? And that become a negative side of geography options for the civil service. And one of the important misconception is a lengthy subject. I totally agree. It is a lengthy subject. So take long time. So how much long? It does not mean a year it will take. Okay. So compared to the other smaller subjects, 1 month extra. So lengthy subjects, totally around maximum is 5 months you can complete. Around 300 hours of time you have to allocate for it. You can make it easy. So if you are giving extra 1 month, okay, and it is ensuring the entire selection, then you must go with it. So if you have chosen a small subject, it will be done within 3 months, but you are not able to understand, you get every time you get stuck up in the mains and the cycle repeated again and again. So there will be no fruits from smaller subject comes out here. Lengthy subjects give the selection. So please go with the length. So length should not be the criteria of selecting optional. Please remove this concept about the lengthy subject. You can do it, you cannot able to do it. So people following the longer path and getting better selected than those who are taking shortcuts. So one principle in UPSC is avoid shortcuts. So even though you have to read a lot. Second misconception is this subject is highly technical, how to memorize it. So memory, so that means memory means they have to work on memory. A lot of facts and figures are existing in geography. So now facts and figure means mountains, peaks, valleys, names. You have to remember a lot. Okay. Now please, anyone can read the mountains whose height is very, very tall. For example, in Himalayas there are peaks of above 4,000 meters. The number is above 4,000. Can anyone can mug it up? Answer is no. So never relied on memory and facts. Okay. Although whatever facts you are reading in general studies or what is coming with the concept, use that only, and this will be updated as for the current affairs. So and if you are good in the memory, it will be a boon for the prelims only, not for the mains. Clear or not? The memory and facts mainly work for your what called as prelims examination, not for the mains. And the mains, what they are checking is not your memory or facts, your conceptual clarity. And this is a subject which are working on concepts and technical, not on your or just sideway writing. Another misconception about this optional is the material is not available, or teachers are not there, or how you are going to complete, selections are not happening. Another rumor is about not scoring, no much selection nowadays, no much selection nowadays from this optional is happening. So why do this opt for geography optional then if it is not scoring? This is also a rumor. This is also a misconception. I already told you there are people who are scoring above 300 plus marks, and the toppers are getting above 320 plus 2. And this is like the other good optional people who get recommended. Okay, even more than that, and it becomes scoring because of map, it becomes scoring because of the technical nature, because of the diagrams you can draw here. The writing part will be less. Another misconception about the geography optional is like the discrete, paper 1 and paper 2 both are independent, you have to do separately. No, both the papers are linked. You can use it, and people think geography is nowadays is not much questions come from prelims, so it is not important. If you see environment, you know disaster management, you know agriculture, you know economic infrastructural projects, all is connected to geography. So this is also a remit. Please avoid that also. So I recommend strongly go with the geography option. Now go into the details of each paper unit by unit, how we can prepare this. Now, as according to the syllabus, first strategy we should follow what completed syllabus, all 20 units. Second step is just do the answer writing practice wherever the content is missing. Third step is or like practice the probable questions and do the validation in each coming time. When you do this, ensure this, then you can score marks. So start mixing paper 1 with paper 2, physical with the human, current with the conceptual things, then your marks would be there. And try to index one diagram, one map with every one single question. If the question is longer, like 20 marker, you can index 2 maps also. By doing this exercise, your marks in the optional get rise and it will be above 320 marks also possible. If you want to be in the top, let's adopt the strategy and never hide from doing hard work. And you although are doing hard work, but follow the right approach. So let's see the paper 1, section A, the physical geography. Okay, so physical geography consists of 5 units and the human geography consists of another 5 units. Question is why these units are like this. So if you understand the topics of optionals, you can easily say, let me go into the details of it, why the syllabus design is like this. So if you look at the paper 1 and paper 2 both, so let's I'm focusing on paper 1 now. So paper 1 design is why 20 units, why 10 units paper 1, why 10 units paper 2, and what is the connection between them. If you see the paper 1 has divided into 10 units, consists of 10 units, divided into 2 section A and section B, and section A basically deals with the physical geography, okay, and section B deals with the human geography. HG means the human geography. So the 5 units here and 5 units here all has equal weightage in the exam. But how to score this? So paper 1 is dealing with the geography principles. So what is the definition of geography, bachcho? Geography basically deals with the man-environment relationship. Man-environment relationship. So the study of man-environment relationship is only called as geography. So this is a geography definition. Keeping this into account, we are applying it. So one side is man, so human geography means man, and the environment is the physical geography. Entire physical geography become, so the 2 things you have written, one is man, second is environment. Their relationship is only called geography. So how 5 units in environment or in the physical geography arise? So whatever surrounds you is the environment. So the what surrounds you is land, air, water, and when land, air and water meets, life, when life and land, air, water is interacting, so then ecological system arise and that will constitute the entire environment again. So as a result, physical geography is nothing but environmental studies. So in that we are dividing into 5 sub-disciplines or 5 sub-parts of physical geography. Technical study of land, the lithosphere, or also called as what? Geomorphology. Geo का मतलब the land, morph means the form, logy means the study. Means geomorphology means the study of land forms. The land forms is created by endogenetic and exogenetic forces. Landform is created because of the action of other landforms, development factors, isn't it, like climate, slope, okay, etc., etc. So there are theories created to explain it, like the plate tectonic theories, continental drift, isn't it, and the slope development theories. So this is your syllabus of unit number 1, isn't it? So unit 1 is this. So factor controlling what? Landform development, endogenetic, exogenetic forces, origin and evolution of the earth crust, fundamental of geomagnetism, physical condition of earth interiors. So the mountain building you can explain by plate tectonic, an old method called geosyncline. Continents are not stationary, so this concept called continental drift, and they are moving one against the another, not only the continent but the land also, called plate tectonic movements, isn't it? And the land is vertically balanced because of isostatic balance, otherwise big mountains are not going to stand. So there are a large number of geological hazards you can experience, like volcanicity, earthquake, tsunami. You can also explain by plate tectonic concepts or other reasons. So theoretically there are concepts like geomorphic cycles of landscape development or slope development, or even any land has a long history of denudation, means the erosion, weathering. Then in the past also the land has sculptured, but again get uplifted, again get eroded. So the entire history of denudation of that land, called denudation chronology, that you can apply mainly on the peninsular India as an example, not much in the Himalayas, isn't it? So how the river is creating the landform, that is called channel morphology, or the end product of cycle of erosion is called as erosional surface, like peneplain, or H-plane, or the pediplane given by the king or Davis or Peng. So old theories of landscape development is based on the endogenetic and exogenetic forces rate. And the new theories of landscape development is nothing but slow modification theories only. So knowledge of geomorphology is put into use in hydrology or economic, mineral identification, or environmental management. So from where you can complete geomorphology? Better to read Geomorphology by Savinder Singh. Okay, Savinder Singh is the better source for geomorphology. So most of the physical geography you relied on Savinder Singh only. Now guys, land is surrounded by the air or atmosphere, and the atmospheric studies done technically we call climatology. Advanced become climatology. So here weather patterns you can study. So what weather patterns, how the weather and pattern arise? First is the difference between the weather and climate also. Long-term average of 30 to 50 years we call climate. If the day-to-day variation in atmospheric condition we call weather. So how weather and climate is determined by certain climatic and weather parameters like temperature, pressure, isn't it? Wind, cloud formation, rainfall, and so on, like that. So as a result, long-term average get maintained. We have temperature belts, pressure belts, and the energy to control the climate of any place is from the solar radiation energy. The heat comes from the sun. Incoming radiation from the sun we call insolation, and if this energy keep on coming, so heat budget of the earth is an increased amount. It has to balance. So the incoming energy should be outgoing in the form of terrestrial long waves, IR rays. So the incoming equal to outgoing, reduce heat budget. And wherever there is an imbalance in the heat budget, and the biggest heat balance is found between equatorial surplus heat and polar deficit. So the longest and the biggest atmospheric cycle generate between equator and poles, called as the atmospheric circulation. Hadley cell, Ferrel cell, polar cell, you can read there. And okay, some location air is stable, some air some location air is unstable. What do you mean by this? It simply means the the air wherever it is rising vertically upward, we call air is unstable. And unstable air is due to the heating, due to the cyclonic disturbance, thunderstorm activity, any kind of storm is due to the atmospheric instability. Okay, and this produce cloud, rainfall, and so on. So now whenever air unable to rise vertically upward, no convectional process is so strong, so no moisture get uplifted. In contra, these situations are happening. It's producing what? Air become stable. Air is not able to rise. Air undergoes subsidence, produce dry weather condition. Most of the permanent atmospheric stable areas become desert actually. So atmospheric meteorological scientists generally talked about atmospheric instability. That is talking about why the weather is getting disturbed. The wind system that control the weather conditions are permanent wind like planetary winds, or the monsoonal seasonal winds, or local winds, or upper atmospheric winds called jet stream. Recent time you might have heard the news about the jet streams causing heat wave. Heat jet streams are responsible for Indian monsoon, western disturbance, or the bomb cyclones in the winter season. So jet stream plays an important role. So the three-dimensional condition of the air surrounding us become air masses. When cold and warm air mass meet, causing frontogenesis, formation of temperate cyclones, while the tropical cyclones developed over warm water bodies. Today, the intensity and frequency of tropical temperate cyclones is on increase due to climate change, and the rainfall patterns varies. If you go from equator to poles, rain is on decrease. If you move from coastal to the interiors, rainfall is on decrease. This we study as a rainfall distribution patterns. Now, why the rainfall took place? That gives the types. Maybe convectional rain, cyclonic rain, or called as the rain caused by the relief feature, called as orographic rain. And these weather patterns on the world is explained on the basis of meteorological data on temperature, rainfall, and it is plotted on the ground corresponding to the vegetation map. And these concept called as climatic classification of the world. And three major scholars are in the syllabus: Popin's classification, Von White, and the three Varthas classification. And now the water, like the air, is under circulation, and that is called hydrological cycle. So because of climate change, hydrological cycles are getting speeded up, which resulting into changes in the rainfall patterns. And most important topic, which is used completely in the GNL studies too, called global climatic change and its role and response to men. So you talked about climate change mitigation, adaptation policies, and the knowledge of climate is applied. Okay, urban climate, you heard of it. Urban climate is more warmer than the rural areas. So this branch is important for your climate. So these are two basic units. Those who command geomorphology and climatology, they have a strong position in the physical geography. Third is smaller unit, water surrounding the earth. So the maximum water is in the ocean. So this branch becomes oceanography. So here we talked about oceans, the relief features, properties of ocean, marine resources, maritime zones, unclaws, and so on. Life, that means life part, means plants and animals, distribution on the earth become biogeography, become what called biogeography. When land and air, water, and the life all is meeting, that branch become environmental geography. This fifth unit is generally used in the journal studies also as the environmental part. So all 5 units become with geography today. All 5 units become the physical geography. Become the geography called physical geography. So, take command over these 5 units. You can command the rest of the other units of paper 1 as well all the 10 units of paper 2 also. So please, first focused areas should be these 3 units, and these could be done with the rest of the other areas. So focus should be on Focus areas are first thing, it consumes the maximum time. Allocate maximum time to this in study. Maximum time for understanding. When you are understanding these three units, understand with the concept. So what are the sources of other or branches of geography? Geomorphology we have seen separate individual textbook written by Singh. Similarly with the climatology, so climatology also you can read what called Singh. Okay, sir. Climatology by Singh. Also good textbook. Or even you already have a DS, Lal is this. I personally say Singh, you read it, that's sufficient. Oceanography is Singh, you can read again. Separate textbook, Oceanography by Singh. Or Sharma and Wattel is one textbook on oceanography, it's also good. Okay, in biogeography, no need to buy anything. Environmental geography, when you buy biogeographical concept is there. Otherwise, you can get Singh textbook on biogeography as well as environmental geography. So that means environmental geography by Singh as well as biogeography by Singh, you go through it. Okay, so here question from the textbooks is not much focused. Here the current affairs plus the internet you use it. Okay, or focused on my class notes, which is developed topic by topic. That's the only approach. Now, in section B is human geography. So in human geography, the focus area is human itself. So what are the topics you are reading? Population, number of people, population distribution, demography, that's called demography. People is staying somewhere becomes settlement geography. People is working in some place to earn their livelihood. So this concept called economic geography. So what are the work done? Fisheries, primary activities like fisheries, forestry, agriculture, mining, or secondary activities like industries, or tertiary activities like trade to support the primary, secondary activities, transport, networks, power, etc. So all become the part of economic geography. Okay, in the process of economic development, some become progressive, some become regressive, some remain backward. To ensure the uniform and speedy rate of development, there is a concept of regional planning and development. Regional planning and development. So, being a civil servant, the role of a geographer is become important. Most of the time, you have to plan the resource, redistribute the resource from the advanced region to backward region, isn't it? So now in the process, two units become very important. So how you push the region development, understand settlement or population. So one unit here is called models and theories. Models and theories, which is more technical and try to explain population, distribution, settlement, distribution pattern, economic structures, and the models for regional growth and development. So models and theories become important. Okay. Now these become the other units of the human geography. Now human geography is connected to physical geography, or physical geography is connected to the physical geography to human geography, human to what is the connection? So geographical perspective is that connection. Connection is nothing but called geographic perspective. Perspective meaning is what called geographical thoughts. Okay, so one thought is who control whom, who influence whom, who create whom. So answer comes out to be environment is controlling, influencing in the men. So whatever or you see as a cultural thing, all is a byproduct of environmental conditioning. And this viewpoint called as environmental determinism. Called as what called? Environmental, what called? Determinism. This is a deterministic view, isn't it? So that means region is developed because resource endowed area, and region is poor because of deficient resource. One is strong because of the nature, one is weak because of nature. It is like this acceptance of status quo. So man become inactive in a deterministic approach. So the geographical thinkers thought like their men should be doing something themselves, okay, to improve and develop. So for the developmental purposes, human become active. When human become more and more active, then men start affecting environment. So what is the thought process by these kind of people? Now the men become what? Active agent in the nature or in the environment. When men become more and more active agent in the environment, what happened to the environment? So environmental degradation will take place at the cost of development, and this kind of thought is called possibilism. Why? Because these men think that nature or environment offer many possible options, and who has to choose from these many possible options offered by the nature or environment? The choice has to be made by the men. So man is making the choice. So that means we call the possible choice, the best possible choice made by the men, depending on not on the environmental condition, but depending on its cultural characteristics or cultural trait of that society, of these people where they are living. So and culture determined by technology, knowledge, isn't it? The capital they possess, the population pressure, and so on. That is called the culture. If culture say, now we have to create good agriculture in the dry desert areas, environment said no, deterministic view said no, but the possibilistic view say is possible. And best example is Israel. You might have seen Africa remain poor in spite of the resource rich area, isn't it not? Because of cultural backwardness. Okay, they are not able to capitalize the resource. Other countries coming and exploiting them because of the culture. You can explain the development on the basis of cultural traits. So nowadays the society is becoming more and more which thought? Possibilistic thought. And this approach is also called possibilism approach in studying geographical areas where the role of man become more and more. So what is an advantage with the possibilistic? To ensure development. But there is everything is not positive. There is a one negative side called as environmental degradation. So most of the problem which is caused today due to the development or possibilistic thought process is that like environmental degradation, climate change, pollution, resource exploitation, insecurity, okay, to different environments are come. So nowadays from 1970s, growth and development cannot be sustained. We call limit to growth, and this concept is a balance between deterministic and the possibilistic thought called as sustainable development. So today the world is stop and go determinism called as sustainable development. So all become topics. So paper 1 is like this, and same knowledge is used in paper 2. So I have given you the sources of physical geography. Now moving to the sources of human geography or section B of paper 1. Most important focused area in the human geography is unit 1, the perspective human geography, and the unit 5th called as models, theories and laws of human geography. So in the perspective in human geography, you develop the thought process. That means how geography as a discipline developed. How geography as a discipline developed. So when in this process, not only how geography as a discipline developed in the world, but also the different thought processes. Thought related to geography development, as is what is the subject matter, what is the research and developmental approach, what is an input, what an outcome, all become geographical thoughts. That's what this unit is called as perspective in human geography. So what are the different perspectives? Areal differentiation. That means area, one area. Objective of every geographer is to find out the differences between the areas. And the focused area is not similarity, dissimilarity. In this approach called areal differentiation. So spatial characteristic of area the geographer should study. Now in the regional synthesis, what you keep on reading one region, the next region and third region. In every region you are focusing one subject or one topic to focus. You can create a regional synthesis. Okay. Now dichotomies and dualism means the differences in the thought. The way which we did just now as an example, like environmental determinism versus what? The possibilism. That's what the different schools of thought comes which appear to be opposite to each other. So it becomes dichotomous and dualism. So this branching, rebranching, sub-branching of geography discipline happens because of this. This is called dichotomies and dualism. You will study this as a one topic. Today, the environmental studies or the role of man in affecting environment, environment affecting man, and vice versa, called environmentalism. Here also possibilism, determinism you can use. Today sustainable development is the environmentalist movement also. Even due to the incoming of the people from sciences, engineering and other statistics, maths, so their method of studies get changed and they become more quantitative, more database analysis. So this branch, this approach in geographical studies in research work called quantitative revolution, and the output of quantitative revolution is locational analysis. The models theory start emerging, and criticism of quantitative revolution methods become what called humanistic, behavioral and human welfare approach. This is called radical approach. So in the environment, in the quantitative approaches, human angle was neglected. So the new branch of 1970s onwards start focusing on radical behavioral human aspects. Okay, in the cultural part, different aspects are there. One is general cultural regions of the world. 6 regions we divide, and next is cultural means linguistic differences or religious differences or developmental differences. So HDI is the best indicator to study that. Now, from where you can read perspective in human geography for optional, what is the sources? 2 books, R.D. Dixit. One is called R.D. Dixit, Upper Division. That's important. Okay, one is R.D. Dixit and second is Sudipto Adhikari. Okay, one is R.D. Dixit and second is what called Sudipto Adhikari. You can refer to 2 textbooks. Very important, read it. Okay. For general human geography, Rupa publication made easy series is okay. So that is Rupa publication. You read Rupa publication, socio-economic geography you can read. As just a novel you must read. But for economic geography, you just go with the Majid Hussain textbook. Okay. Where you read economic aspect like agriculture, industries, resources, trade, and the problems associated with that, and measurement of it. So, population and settlement geography, the sources is the Majid Hussain only, work to be done. Okay, for population and settlement geography, textbook, same textbook, not separate textbook. One textbook came called this Human Geography by Majid Hussain. So in that textbook, economic geography, population settlement is given properly. You read that. Okay. Apart, if you want to go with the settlement geography, Siddhartha, you can also refer to. Okay. Okay. Siddhartha's settlement geography is also a good source. Regional planning models and theories. So regional, one book upon Puri used to come, RC. So that's regional planning. And model theories and laws in human geography, separate textbooks is given by Majid Hussain. Separate text book by Majid Hussain on models and theory. Even the class notes for the human geography, you should refer that. That will be important for everything. And do the value addition if any current. So apart from the separate notes, class notes, certain material has to be updated with current affairs too. Now, for the paper 2, Indian geography, again 10 minutes, physical setting, resources, agriculture, industries, transport, communication, cultural settings, settlement, planning, political aspects and contemporary issues, and one compulsory map question. So what are the sources for Indian geography? For Indian geography, one textbook I want to say, and rest is the current affairs. One is called, okay, one textbooks. Here, Fuller, Indian geography by B.R. Fuller, 3 textbooks. So when you are purchasing textbook and reading it, how to read it? Just page by page, or as for the topics given in the syllabus, read page by page. And this is one point. And point number 2 is after reading, go through the past year question papers and the possible question bank in every topic which has been given by me. Refer to that and try to attempt these questions. So you need not to make note making, you just do the answer writing practice. Okay, and better answer writing will give you better result. So apart from this DR Fuller, we have to refer current affairs also, because Indian geography, lot of updates on current affairs used to come. Okay, but advanced, do the value addition. Okay, do value addition in these notes. Okay, this is agriculture or industries or transport or population, settlement, regional planning, you do it. So no need for any textbooks. Here the magazines will help you out. What magazines you should refer? What magazine you should refer for the geography? Already whatever the magazines you are covering, that is sufficient, and basically downs to what? Down to earth is one. Second is geography and you. Geography and you. This is for environment, and the rest of the other aspects of geography will cover from that. So monthly magazines. Even one magazine for rural development comes, you can write essays also, Kuru, Kshetras and Yojana. Okay, economic geography, some angles also covered at Yojana, but in Kurukshetra only for rural development. Okay, so if you don't purchase Kurukshetra, does not create difference, but Yojana will be helping you out in essay writing also. Please go through this too. In the class notes. And the last one compulsory question in the Indian geography camp is on map question. Which question? Compulsory map question is there. You have to attempt it. The 10 marker question. Okay, so you have to attempt it. So there are, you can prepare map along with the topics. And the class will be doing. So the population maps, development map, industrial mapping, mineral resource mapping, or tourist destination places, all would be in the news. Okay, along with the topics prepared when you are doing. The second method is separately you make a question or map file, or you can get the Indian maps, or you can draw the Indian map. And when you are able to do this, create a topic by topic, or which is in the news base. So one along the topic, second is news based mappings are there. So two types of map questions arise along with the topic centric, which you are covering, some news based. Okay, in the end I will be doing mapping, so that will be covering that. So the source for mapping is DR Fuller is self-sufficient for many of the traditional topics, but the news based things, I think the news itself, whenever the news comes, plot on Indian side, okay, Indian map. You will generate within the class also, or on your own also you can generate. You want to read a textbook or for map plotting, just have one atlas, which you already are having it. Second point is for map of India, one book by one of my friend. It's there called Prem Patel. We are roommates in Delhi once. So he also wrote one textbook. You can refer that also. Map. Okay. Mapping of India by Prem Patel. So books and references for paper 1, paper 2 is first, before starting with paper 1 in details, first go through the basic books. Basic books are NCERT textbooks for 11th standard to 12th standard 2. So for the 11th standard, talked about the paper 1, it will be useful, like fundamentals of physical geography 11th standard and the physical environment for the 11th standard. Okay, so this is a physical environment 11th standard. For the human part, fundamentals of human geography 12th standard. So this is paper 1, not physical geography. This is required for, if you look at this is required for Indian geography as well as human geography section B. 11th standard, there are two textbooks, purchase both. Okay, new edition, get the which editions? New editions on textbooks of 11th standard 2 and 12th standard 2. It will help you in physical geography as well as in human geography as well as Indian part, physical and human too. One G.C. Leong is there, the book called as Certificate Physical and Human Geography by G.C. Leong or Watching Leong or Atlas. These are must read textbooks, and these textbooks are not only in optional, it's required in what called GS geography part also. So before starting the optional, bachcho, this is an expected that you have gone through this. Not all the textbooks, before starting the physical part, at least physical geography textbooks get completed, and before starting the human geography, complete the human geography textbook. I am not talking from 6 till 10, only 11th and 12th standard NCERT is the focus point. Always in the class or when you're reading geography things, whenever place comes, when your mind is not able to depict that place, plot on the world map, see and plot. So use the student Oxford or Oxford School Atlas ones. These are books. Some of the textbooks are advanced books. Here you need not to read line by line. You have to read and make your notes if you want to update. So everything is given by me. So here is read according to the syllabus. This coverage is not line by line like previous books, according to the syllabus or the question or the topic. You have to search in these textbooks. Topic wise you have to read, and topic is as for the syllabus or whatever the question you are attempting. So all which you already know, like all the 5 textbooks of physical geography by 7th, like geomorphology, oceanography, climatology, environmental geography, biogeography, all by 7th. Indian geography by D.R. Hullo, human geography by Majid Hussain, models and theories by Majid Hussain, and geographical thought by R.D. Dikshit and Sudipta Adhikari, isn't it not? So for settlement geography ke Siddhartha you can refer. Okay guys, so testimonies for geomorphology optional papers I already given to you, because every year more than 3,500 people are appearing out of 10,000, 12,000 people. So 30% of the total aspirant is from geography option. I think it will be highly lucrative to choose geography option. And one more data I want to show, the toppers, first rankers come from geography option, like 98 Devesh Kumar, okay, 2002 Alok Ranjan Jha, 2003 S Nagarajan, 2014 Ira Singhal, all stood rank 1. In the recent years is like Ira Singhal in 2014, like 18 Junaid Ahmed 3rd, Pratham Kaushik 5th, Ayush Na 7th, okay, Soumya Pandey 4th, Sweta Chauhan 8th, Atul J 13th, okay, and so on. There are many students of mine also make it. So please join the course and complete it in time. Best of luck all of you. Thank you.